afternoon, everyone. My name is Eunju Yun, and this is something actually happened to me. When I was 20 years old, I went on a blind date. And at the time, the guy asked me, "What is your hobby?" So I said, "My hobby is computer game." And what did he say? Really? It was very cynical. And at that time, I couldn't expect that. But actually, probably he thought that I was such a geek. And around me, many friends are enjoying video games like me. But they often hide the fact, and they don't proudly say, "My hobby is computer games." And especially the parents think video games are very negative things, and they mind their children playing video games. I'll show you some pictures. It is by an expert photographer whose name is Toronto. The picture's name is Gamers. Look, they look like somewhat crazy, and they look like somewhat very addictive, and looks like no real lives, right? Among you here, I think many people are enjoying video games like FIFA or StarCraft, World of Craft, not only computer games using the cellular phone, Angry Bird or Wii, Nintendo game, Xbox, or PlayStation. Can you imagine that if this world without games? Well, I can't imagine, seriously. When I am in the subway, if I don't have anything to do, I always play video game with my cell phone. And if I really want to play with my friend who live far from me, I can play with them. And if I feel really bad or really sad, or just I feel really bored, I can play video game and I feel better. Let's see, how many people play video games? Okay. According to recent research, games are most popular mobile app category. And I'm sorry. This is from Entertainment Software Association, ESA, it's the research. They said, according to the research, 67% of American households play computer or video games. And they play 1 hour, 8 minutes per day in average. And gender of gamers, 60% and 40%. And the average game player age is 34 years old. See, games are not only children's entertainment. Games have become clear parts of culture. But despite of that fact, popular opinion about computer games or video games are really pretty negative. But I don't agree with that idea. Why many people think video games are negative, and why many people want to hide we are playing video games? I sum up the reasons into 2 categories. First is addiction. Actually, game addiction is social problem. But Actually, we are exposed to addiction of everything. Chocolate or exercise, shopping, or alcohol. Anything to do can be addictive, and too much can be dangerous to you. Know your limits and within it, play within it. Sorry. If I play video game yesterday night, even though I have big presentation today, it is not a hobby. If I play video games 3 hours every day, it is not a hobby. It's kind of part-time job, right? Game as a hobby do not disrupt our daily life. I think the suitable hours playing games hours will be is 1 hour per day. I talked earlier, it is matched with the Americans' playing time of computer games. Second is inappropriate. Every games has age limit, right? This is ESRB, Entertainment Software Rating Board. It assigns age and content ratings in the US, Canada, and Mexico. If elementary school student, they play video game like StarCraft or World of Craft or the other adult game, it is really inappropriate and illegal. We can choose the appropriate games for ourselves. So, 1 hour per day, the appropriate games are really beneficial to you. Actually, we don't know merit of games, and we only emphasize this merit of video games. That's why our popular opinion is worse and worse. I'm going to talk about advantage of video games. I'm not saying about the special game like educational or physical healthy games. I mean just general games, general video games. First, games are good for your brain. Here is some interesting research. The American Psychology Network team, they did an experience for 26 adolescents who are women. And they asked the girls, play the Tetris game 30 minutes per day for 3 months. After the 3 months, the result of MRI scan of the girl's brain was really surprising. It is our human's brain. The girl's brain, those 3 parts of girl's brain was thicker, much thicker than the others who didn't play video games. The Tetris game. And those 3 parts take charge: critical thinking, reasoning thinking, language ability, and processing ability. Those areas. According to the Dr. Heyer, who was leading the project, he said, when we play video game, we have to concentrate on the display and we have to memorize something, and we are using hand and eye coordination, and we are using problem and solving skills. Using many skills inconsistently, it is not surprising that rapidly development of brain from computer video games. Let's move on to my second point. Games give you indirect experience. It is the Sims, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Civilization, SimCity, and Three Kingdoms. Do you know what do they have in common? All those games are simulation games. Simulation, we can do everything in the games, even though the impossible things in our real lives, especially historical game or the architectural game or management game is really educational. Actually, the Department of Business in Stanford University in the US, they use the capitalism tool, which is the simulation game, as a textbook. And he is professor of business administration in Chungang University. His name is Jung Hyun-wi. He also used some online simulation game as a teaching material. He said management and the game have a lot in common. Both of them, data collection is the first thing. Next, establishing a strategy based on the analysis of business. And third, most important thing is ability to change flexibly in a crisis situation. So simulation games are very educational because they give us the indirect experience. That is my last point. Games give you positive energy. When we play video games, we can release our stress, or we can feel the pressure from the game. But I don't mean the entertainment things, facts, even though they are facts of it. Let's think about the positive energy from the games. As a human being, we love meaningful and hard goals, and we always pursue positive goals, and we are not afraid of failure. Just get up after failure and try again. Let's see on the video clip. It is about the Sims game.
I've tried so many times to build a small house, and I just get carried away, when I get started, and before I know it, it's big, But when I was in high school, I thought, I'd like to go into architecture. So when The Sims came along, for some reason, it just seemed like the best outlet for me to, show my creativity. As they've been developing the Sims franchise, everything's been improving. They've been listening to, the fans and the players requesting to make things easier, and of course they've been doing that. There's some new tools that are in The Sims 3, one that allows you to move walls even after you've created the room. And if you find that, well, it's too big or it's too small and you need to change the size, you don't have to tear everything apart and move everything out of the way and then put it back together again. To be able to change things so easily, such as colors and textures and so forth, houses that you can build faster. Sharing my creations with other people is really what keeps me going.
What did he say? He said, sharing my creation with other people is what keeps me going. Right. Especially online games. even if they beat us, even mostly, even if they have beaten us very badly. But we like the people better after the games with them. The reason is games give us lot of trust. We trust they spend their times with us, and we trust they play video games with us by same rules and same value. I often compare with kitchen knife. If my mother cooks a delicious food, the kitchen knife can be very good tools. But if a mother kills someone, the kitchen knife can be very scary weapon, right? The game is also kind of tools. The game itself is really beneficial. We can select the video game properly, and we can use the game properly, and we can lead to the good result. Parents should instruct to their children, don't play unwholesome games. Don't prohibit them playing games anymore. And don't hide that we are playing games. And don't force your friends or your family to stop playing video games. We are not just sit around. I aspire the number of people who think same as me will be increased. And I believe the stereotype of games will be changed positively in the near future. Now, we can say proudly, my hobby is computer games. Thank you.
It's a me again. Video. No, it just doesn't work. Let's get some judge comments.
Being the father of a 22-year-old son who plays video games, one of the things I look for in a public speaker is, if you have a premise, you have to convince the audience. Now, my initial thought was, how's she going to convince me that video games, that my kids should play more, or at least not play less? Okay? If not play more, at least not play less. But you did a great job in convincing me. You used your believability in your eye contact and your body language, and you backed it up with research. So when you want to convince somebody and you want to get them to change their mind, show them the facts, which you used very well, and be passionate about it. And even if you don't have the facts, sometimes the passion can trick the audience into believing that you're correct. But when you combine passion and facts, that's a win-win situation. So here I am thinking, how am I going to get my son to turn off the video game, go back to School of Business, and now I just might buy him a video game tonight. So maybe not. But at least you've opened my mind, and I think that's one of the best things a speaker can do, is get the disbelievers in the audience now believing and seeing the other side of the story, and I think you did a great job of that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I agree absolutely. Just starting from the end and going back to the beginning, you ended really well, really powerfully. I thought, you know, I should be proud to be a video game person. So you left us with that on our minds, which is great. We should all leave the room thinking about something like that. Yes, excellent. And I like the way that you inserted sort of the premise of your presentation throughout your presentation. So when you were talking about your first point, which was addiction, you said, know your limits, which is the same with any addiction. So you kind of repeated that throughout the presentation, which was very good, instead of just saying it in the introduction. And you're all dressed up today. so different from what Hey, in a good way, in a good way. And just to say sort of the opposite of what I said with the last speaker, how you can talk about something complex in 20 minutes and make a lot of mistakes. Not that that isn't true for you as well, but also, you know, some of the words we worked on, like appropriate. Just, you said it fine, you said it great. Because sometimes things can kind of get messy if you can't pronounce certain words well, but you said that really well. So just so you know that. Addition of the video, 3/4 of the way through, great. Nice sort of break in the middle of the presentation. Good length. Okay, and you introduced a lot of your pictures really well. You know, let's think about positive energy, and then we look at the picture. That's really good. So, great, thank you.